Hi guys, it's Kath. Today I'm going to show you how I made this miniature scene featuring a traditional Thanksgiving dinner. It includes a full roasted turkey, all the usual scrumptious sides, and individual plates of food for all the guests around this beautiful table. I'll be showing you how I modeled the items, printed them in my new 3D resin printer, and how I painted and finished them for my dollhouse. Let's get started. Now you can always use clay to mold organic items like this. I'll be using Nomad Sculpt on my iPad. It's just like working with clay, but it's faster, cleaner, more forgiving, and most importantly, you can create as many copies as you like. I'm a complete beginner to this app, but I've found that it's really intuitive. I just drop a sphere on my workspace and begin to maneuver it. I'm just moving this ball of clay around to create the shape of a turkey body. Just stretch it out so it's longer and thinner on one end and push in the sides. Slowly work the shape so it looks realistic. For the legs, I just add another ball of clay and continue to maneuver it around. Make one side thinner where the bone is and the other side thicker where a lot of the meat is. I like to use reference images for this. I make a copy of it for the other side of the body. Take your time with this. There's no rush and you can really just make it look how you like. Here is the final model. Since we're just designing the shape, there's no need to worry about the colors. I also model some plates of food. It includes slices of turkey, mashed potatoes, green beans, stuffing, and cranberry sauce. The plate is a simple flattened cylinder. I add more cylinders for the slices of turkey. The mashed potatoes are made by squishing up a ball of clay. This doesn't need to look perfect because real food naturally looks imperfect. And the green beans are made with simple thin tubes with pinched ends. Now let's print it out. I just got this new resin printer from Elegoo. It's the Saturn IV Ultra and it's an absolute beast of a machine. It's about double the size of my other resin printer and has a lid that opens on a hinge. This printer comes fully assembled. You only need to remove the packing materials and you're good to go. One thing I will mention is that you need to replace the shipping screws with the screw knobs included for the VAT. The manual didn't include that tidbit, so I thought I would share it. I connect the included Wi-Fi antenna because you can actually print over Wi-Fi. The printer also comes with a USB drive that you can use to copy files from your computer to the printer. The initial setup is super easy. Connect it to your Wi-Fi and the printer will install any necessary updates and also run through its system checks to make sure everything is working properly. I'm really excited about this camera that can record time lapses. You can actually watch your print in real time or record a time lapse to watch later. This is a huge feature because resin printing usually means you're mostly blind to the process until it's finished. It also auto levels, so all you need to do is pour in your resin and start printing. I love the dark gray lid as it gives the printer a very modern look. It also reminds me a bit of Darth Vader. I do wish it had a handle, but that's an easy problem to solve. Just print a handle and mount it on. That's the magic of 3D printers. They can solve their own problems. I love the hinge on this lid. A hinge lid might not seem like a huge feature, but it's so helpful when you have limited space like I do. For this set, I add some auto-generated supports. They're very helpful for printing, but you will need to carefully remove them afterwards. I add supports to all 3 models and then slice it. Now I send it to my printer over Wi-Fi. Through the camera, I watch the build plate dip down into the resin and begin printing. Once the prints are complete, open the lid and slip on this drip tray, because it does get pretty messy when removing the build plate. Unclip the plate and slide it off. Removing the prints from the plate is pretty simple. I just use the included plastic spatula to wiggle underneath the supports and it should fall right off. Be careful not to use too much force or you could crack your prints. I do all of this on a covered paint tray liner to reduce the mess. Here, I'm giving these prints an initial wash in a small container of isopropyl alcohol. We'll be giving them a proper thorough wash in just a bit. Since the plate of food looks so good on this initial print, I'll print several more. For this next set, I include a turkey that's already on a platter. I also designed and printed some casserole dishes and pies. I thought these would nicely complete the look of our Thanksgiving feast. These models printed beautifully. The amount of detail you get in resin prints never ceases to amaze me. No matter how many times I do this, it always feels like magic. After the initial rinse, I like to cut my supports off. You can also cut off your supports after curing, but I like to cut the supports off while the resin is still a bit soft. Cutting off supports is super time consuming, but it's a necessary evil. These models will print nowhere as well or even at all without these supports. Now let's put them into a wash. This is the Elegoo wash and cure machine sets. I personally like giving prints an initial wash in alcohol before putting them in the wash machine. This prevents the large tub of alcohol from getting dirtied up as quickly. This is the Elegoo wash machine. I fill this wash tank with 99% isopropyl alcohol. You can use a lower percentage, but I prefer 99% as it cleans extremely well and dries without any residue. The machine spins the alcohol around to give the pieces a thorough clean and removes all the excess resin. The Elegoo wash machine spins the alcohol so it gets into all the crevices of your model. Submerge your prints into the basket and give it a good spin. Once that's all clean, I give them a good wipe down with alcohol and it's time to cure. The cure machine has 2 light bars that snap into these slots at the back. Place your pieces on the circular rotating plates. The wash machine will clean your resin prints and the cure machine will give them that final cure to harden them. Turn it on and let them get fully saturated with that UV light. This rotating plate ensures that all the nooks and crannies are cured. And once they're fully cured, they're safe to touch without gloves. It's time for the fun part of painting these pieces. Use an assortment of brown and beige acrylic paint to paint this turkey. There's no right or wrong way to do this. I add a bit of clear resin on top of the areas I want glossy. Here I'm painting one to make it look pink and uncooked. The platter for the turkey is painted in regular titanium white acrylic paints. Painting this plate of food was so much fun, and the most difficult part was mixing up just the right shades of colors. Paint is the final step in bringing these designs to life, and it's my absolute favorite parts. My favorite part of this dish is the gravy. It's just clear resin mixed with some brown UV gel coated over the turkey slices and the mashed potatoes. Cure it with a UV light and the dish is complete. In this casserole dish, I'll be adding mashed potatoes. It's just modeling paste. I mix it with a bit of tan and yellow acrylic paint. Mix it inside a small Ziploc bag and pipe it into the dish. You can really fill these up with anything you like. I also made some pies because they are essential to completing a Thanksgiving feast. No Thanksgiving dinner set is complete without a dining set, so I modeled and printed those as well. Now I won't go through the modeling process because it's a bit boring to watch, but I did want to show you the printed results. This is a time-lapse video from the printer's camera and it looks pretty good. I give them a good wash, cut off the supports, and now it's time for painting. And here we have the dining table. This one used a lot of supports. To reduce the mess, you can move your build plate all the way up before removing it. You can also hang it at an angle from your machine and let any excess resin drip off. I paint this set in brown acrylic paint for the look of wood. Since this tabletop has a wood grain texture, I also add streaks of darker brown to accentuate that. I use the same painting technique on the chair. For the dining set, I printed 1 table and 6 chairs. To properly plate my turkey, I first cut some green craft paper and lay it on the platter. This is for the look of greens underneath the turkey. Then you can take it out of the oven and put it on your table. Now that we have all our pieces done, let's assemble the final scene. This feels a bit like setting a real table. Now our Thanksgiving dinner scene is all complete. I love adding festive scenes to my dollhouse throughout the year. If you're interested in any of the designs that you saw today, I have them linked in the description box below. I hope you guys liked this video and I'll see you next time. Bye!